All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's a Saturday afternoon with Nathaniel Lucas here to see some A1 action, followed by maybe some A2 as well. We've got
Dong.
Max, Beechen, Shu, and Oliver in what appears to be game three of their four-game series, joining in a little bit in the middle of this third game. How's it going, Lucas? How have you been enjoying the action so far in session one?
I haven't got the chance to watch too many of the games, but excited to get to watch some of this table tonight.
Yeah, definitely some exciting players here. In the first couple of games, it looks like Shu and Beechen have been in control. Ooh, looks like we got a little bit of double vision here. But go ahead and what do you make of these hands as I attempt to fix this?
Well, the first thing I definitely noticed is the Dora pair on the right with Yakuhai as well, and also Chito Ishanten. So definitely the hand that stands out to me.
Boom.
Yeah, so it looks like gonna call a Haku, which I think I like. I think it's probably faster, especially this early than the Chito Ishanten. You also have like two like Ryamen pairs, so now you're just Ishanten, and it's I think a lot easier to get into Tenpai this way.
Yeah, of course, hands with door are definitely going to stand out. Dealer, can they fight a little bit here? Looks like we're just seeing Dian Shanten.
It did draw into the Anka. We do now already have Tenpai though, from Oliver.
Yeah, super tricky way to the Shabo. Although one of the Wonso is already held, it's not 100% secure. There's a chance that Beechen goes for Itsu here and just locks that into place. But if this hand shifts into a Tanya, perhaps the Wonso will come out. And the two remaining door are unseen. Still looking for those.
There's a chance to maybe consider 6-pin Chi for E2B. That hand didn't even have a pair, so I think it makes sense to let it pass. And here's the Dora drawn
Yeah,
by
and
Bichen.
Beechen will hold on to it. I mean, can just angle for Itsu door 2 of his own.
Yeah, for sure. Set up well to possibly end up Tonki weight on that. See if okay, just gonna Tsumogiri the 8-mon.
Each.
Well, dealers made it to Senpai now on the 1-4-so with Richi Tanyo. Or at least Tanyo chance.
And there's another door tile drawn by Max that will not come out. Max is probably going to aim for Itsu door 2 of his own.
Could have a lot of West weights here.
Can't push the 8 so though. Lets it, at least not yet. Goes with the 2-mon first. And that's
Well,
Tenpai.
here it is.
Each.
Would have to push 8, so yeah, here we go. Richi, the Itsu door 2. Kind of surprised about the Richi, but I guess figured he didn't want to change the hand anyways. But could have gone like 4 Hondama. Meanwhile, we do have dealer sumoing the 1-so, which was Yasume, but still happy to just take the dealer win there and shut down the 2 scary hands.
Yeah, into first place now with 35,000 and he's 3. Repeat 1.
Pretty like slow dealer hand here. The 7-mon draw does at least complete one shape, but I don't love these shapes here in dealer's hand. On the right, you have kind of a nice Ipeko chance with maybe a Junchon as well. But actually, yeah, it's definitely playing for a Junchon or Chanta, it looks like, by discarding those 5-so and 6-mon early. And wow, gets the 9-so draw, so that hand is already, I guess, 2 Shanten at the moment. Or Ishanten, even? No, 2 Shanten. Or is it is Ishanten, it's just missing a pair. Yeah. Meanwhile, we did have Max draw into the Chun Anko as well.
And now another completed shape. Ishanten for Max.
Chi.
Richi Chun would be pretty sweet.
Taylor's just gonna try to go for. Oh wow, draws the 3-mon. So now is Sorry, yeah, well, that hand still was 2 shunten. I don't know why I was having so much trouble counting it.
Well,
But I don't like this 2-mon discard, because this hand is like... This is a pretty bad... Like, don't you... Okay, now keeps the 7-pin. I feel like you wanted to keep some of these middle tiles for, like, your Kutsuki Shanten.
yeah, I was really forcing in the Chanta or Junchan aspect, perhaps.
I'm not sure how much you need those when you have Ipeco Dora 2 already.
Mm. In the meantime, Shu has found Tenpai as dealer with Tanyao only. Not worth that much in terms of points, but worth a lot in shutting down Oliver's monster on the right. Unfortunately,
And you
this
could
wait
call
is
this, and we do. So now it's just going to be Chanta Door 2.
only two huts in the wall. It's one's cut, and now Shu improves the weight from the last 5 to now 3 6 8 mon. A lot of those tiles being held by Bichan, who takes a Richi here. Richi, Tanyao, potentially Tanyao, and then Pinhu, winning 6 9 mon. And the 6-pin doesn't look great, but Shu says, I'm dealer, I'm just going to drop it.
It does have a nice multi-sided weight here, so it's going to fight.
Turns out the play was to go Shabo there, but...
Max with the on-con of 2, so now, and it does go ahead and con it.
Flips 3
Dizzy
Dora.
Shanten. Wow. Good con.
Oh,
here's
this
the 8-mon though.
It's got to come out, right?
Dong.
Deals into the cheap hand on the board. The other 3 were looking quite scary. But Shu will pick up the Richi stick, the Homba, and of course the 1500 points, and repeat once again.
And now has definitely a faster looking hand than the last one, with the chance to call Hatsu for the Yakuhai. Not a ton of value without a Richi, but I think the speed might make up for it. Let's see, Max has like... Could think about going to a Honitsu, depending on what the draws are. You kind of have like 3 blocks for it right now, but your so here's another so draw. See what the discard here is. It going to be like a 6-mon or just one of the dragons? It's going to be the Hatsu. That will get called by Zhu.
Another Onko for Max. It's going to be exciting to see if he can flip 3 Dora again. This time doesn't have an alternate Onko with which to con. Could be Tenpai.
Here's the last Haku in the wall, though.
Choosing which way to take. Goes with the 3-6. Also had the option to chi with the 4-5-6 and wait on the 6-9 instead, but decided with 3 of the 9 so visible that wasn't as likely as this 3-6 was. And also could have considered taking the Shabo instead, the 8-7 pin.
I think I like this choice, a 3-6-0. It looks pretty good, especially when you see all 4 5-0. Although maybe you didn't see the last one when that choice was made.
But you're certainly pleased to see it now. When you see 3 of a tile, holding the last one is a pretty powerful position. We'll see Chi into Sanchoku Tenpai. Bicha and Sanchoku Dora 1 waiting on the 2, so unfortunately for Max, it looks like I'll have to drop out one of those tiles, but Oliver does it first with a 6, so, and the dealership continues. You know...
Yeah, Oliver was going for another Chanta hand, but didn't quite get there.
Yeah, over the course of the last couple seasons, Shu has definitely shown a penchant for just running up dealerships, even if it's winning 2,000 points at a time. Those add up, and right now, Shu the only player over 30,000, all the way up to 40,000, in fact, in East 3.
Yeah, I definitely am a believer that you should try to win a quick hand when it's available. I don't have a problem winning small hands, especially as dealer.
Haipai misses out perhaps on a chance to open up quickly with another Yakuhai pair. Just selected the incorrect dragon to retain. That's okay, there still is options for Tanyao. Maybe 4-5-6 Sanchoku as well for Shu. To the right, Oliver, is he building towards Honitsu here? Still has good floaters in the Monzu and Pinzu.
I think he's definitely thinking about it. Here we're going to see the decision. Yeah, it is going to be 6-pin.
A door or two in that hand, so definitely some value behind it. Across the way, Max is actually Ishanten here, but really desperately needs a 7, so
Yeah, I think would also, well, okay, now, yeah, I can just got the 7 mon. So now there is chances to maybe get off of that door penchon. I think if Max drew into another Ryamen, might prefer the Ryamen Ishanten over the door penchon.
yeah, unfortunately, if he did end up giving that away, it'd probably be just for Riichi Nomi. I think maybe you can hesitate here and think about the odds of 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku, but the 1 pin is dead, so that's just not going to happen.
There's another
Meanwhile,
Sozu draw.
yeah,
So this
Oliver.
is gonna be
Each.
yeah, Tempai on 3 so. Did have to cut Dora for it, but it is still Riichi Dora 1.
Oh, Ipatsu tile drawn by Bichen holds on to it. Bichen known for being a strong defensive player. Kind of in an awkward spot here, already out of Genbutsu tiles. Nine-mon at least is safe. If you run out of tiles, what would your next cut for Bichen be?
I think the 4-pin doesn't look that bad. Maybe the 7-pin, just because it gives you 3 turns, even though it's a little more dangerous than the 4-pin.
I guess we could see 3 8s and 3 9
Chen went
pins.
for 1 so. Was that safe? I think that 1 so from Zhu was before the Ricci.
That would make sense here. Shu being the dealer, so would discard before.
I think the Pinzu looked a little bit safer to me with like the Sotagawa to the 6-pin. So I think I would have chosen a 4-pin or a 7-pin. Okay, well, Max can safely cut the Dora and does still have Ishanten here. And 9 so is also Genbutsu.
Sumo.
But there's the 3 so drawn. And do finally move off Shu's dealership.
Ooh,
Or a 2!
That's a big hit. And all that work that Shu put in to collect first place lead is now diminished away. It's a tie between Shu and Oliver. And,
Wow.
ooh.
And and so I guess I commit to Honitsu immediately with the 9-mon, or at least hedging that direction. I might have started with just some honors here, especially with like 5-mon Doro.
Yeah, I think
But,
part of that decision...
I suppose, like, maybe thinking that, like, you don't want 8-mon, because then you might lose Dora. I think I would just start with a more flexible honor discard, but I can understand 9-mon. Max also with a pretty quick-looking hand. Does have, like, a lot of nice Pinzu. Could even be, like, Pinzu Chinitsu. The rest of the tiles are pretty weak. And it does look like there's a lot of Pinzu available. So, if Max starts drawing enough of those. Bichen does have the Dora Ryamen, and looks like could open up for Tanyo. Maybe not any good calls yet, but definitely could be some in the future. 8 so is a nice draw here. This is Ishanten already here for dealer.
Boom.
Ishanten in a number of ways. 5 so, or 5-mon rather, would be an interesting Tempai draw. Could reach you with this 6 so way down the Hellweight 9 so, if you're into that sort of thing.
Boom.
Not a bad weight. I might go for it. Okay, so now it's going to pawn east and call into Tempai here on the 6-mon.
And notably, Bichen Sakigiri of the 6-mon, getting rid of that ahead of time avoided dealing in there.
Yeah, that was good timing on that. Just fixing that door Ryamen. It's like I think I like the Sakigiri from like the Ryamen pair where the Dora is the non-pair tile.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely worked out well this time.
We're starting to
see how much Pinzu Bichen. Looks like Bichen a little wary of the Pinzu. Doesn't want to cut 2-pin at least yet.
Right, 2 calls and an honor overflow from Max. And now we're going to see a second honor overflow.
Here's Tempai.
Boom.
So Shinizu Tempai going to shift the weight to 4 7-pin with the pawn.
Definitely feels like Tempai to the rest of the table now as well. And
yeah, if you were worried before at 2 calls, at 3 calls, I think you're quite scared, and in fact, that's enough to have our dealer fold here, drawing the 3-pin.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any thought to drop
Oh, here,
9.
back to Tenpai.
Okay, we're back with a reasonable weight. I say reasonable. There's only 2 tiles left. I was wondering about Oliver maybe dropping the 9 so 6 instead. And so that he
I
could
think
retain the weight.
going...
Oh,
Oh,
well,
and
no,
there
this
you go,
was just
Simmel.
this was just the way to do it.
I think taking the Kutsuki Yishanten there is probably the way to do it. It's just a better Yishanten, because like if you could just draw, like we saw 3-pin gave Tenpai, but also like 1, 2,
Right.
4 or 5-pin would also do it.
Yeah, it was willing to give up on the Dora to be able to win the hand, and definitely benefited there. And actually, the way
Yeah, a
it
lot of the
turned
value
out,
comes just from shutting down the Chinitsu.
right, there's an opportunity to even shift that to Toito with some good draws. In the end, Oliver jumps to the lead here and repeats. Already has a Dora locked into a shape here for this Haipai.
Yeah, there's like also a chance that maybe you draw on Tuso for Sanchoku. Another pair in the 6-mon. Probably just gonna have to try to aim for Ricci. We saw Max just draw into an Anko there, and also does have the East pair. If he wants to call for a Yakuhai. 1 floating door 2-mon as well. Bichan's hand also looks quite fast. I think 2 Shanten at the moment. Just looking for 1 more block here. I mean, everyone's hands looking pretty good because Zhu's hand also has got some nice shapes. And is currently 2 Shanten as well. So it might be a quick round here.
Oliver drawing a concerning number of pairs, but could still get a couple of lucky 3. Never mind, I see where the 3 pins are.
Well, Bichan found the final block there, and so is now Ishanten.
Boom.
Oliver, considering opening, does make the move, and will shift this into a Tanyao Dora 1 currently. Max in the kind of awkward position of being Ishanten with an East call available, but having to drop the Dora for Tenpai.
I think Max would pretty happily call, just take Dora, take Ryum and Senpai, although has had to pass, didn't want to call Otozuke for it, so has had to skip to the 1 pin, meaning that
Boom.
this Ryumen waits not quite as
Gee.
live. And now we see another call. Okay, so now we saw Chi with 4 pin, but didn't take Tenpai. So Max is going to try to Mawashi a little bit, and now let's give him Bichan enough time to draw into Tenpai. So takes the Ricci Pinfu on 3-6-mon.
Meantime, Shu has held this East this whole time.
And that is live, so looks a bit dangerous.
Nine so is once cut. I'm just redrawing this entire.
Max might have to cut the East. It doesn't feel great cutting a Shompai tile. Oh, hold on. Have a 3-mon draw here. Would deal in, but nicely dodged here. Doesn't want to push the 3-mon. Goes for the 5-so, which was Nakasuji.
Yeah,
So breaks Tenpai.
Montel's not feeling good here.
I think probably dodged it because it was so close to Dora. I think that maybe if it was a different Musuji tile, might have pushed.
Oliver will
But
have
nicely
a route
avoided.
to dodge it completely here with the 4-mon.
So it looks like that is it. Just Bichan gets the 3,000 points.
That's an important 3,000 as well, because Max will lose 1,000 from that. Beechin will surpass for 3rd place, heading into the South rounds.
Let's see what Max can do with this high pie here. It's not the best high pie. Maybe, yeah, it's not great. 5-mon draw is really nice though. Filling that Kanchan is like really important. Now I think you feel a lot better about it. You might still be like Ricci Nomi. It could maybe become Tanyo. But at least I think the hand is more playable after drawing 5-mon. Bichan is already 2 Shanten, although some of the shapes are pretty bad. Or maybe, I guess that's still, is it 1, 2?
It's
Yeah, 3
DM.
Shanten. Or is it 2 Shanten?
We can drop away from the 4-pin. As is, like, we have Sanchoku Chance with the 7-mon and 8-pin draws waiting on the 2-so.
Now you have like just an E2 as well.
Definitely an interesting hand for Beachin to try to pilot here. Sure,
G2
across.
E Shanten for Zhu.
Yeah.
It's drawing these like nice honor tiles, but they're all for E10. He's considering keeping the north anyways, but just decides to discard it.
It should be in the wall, right?
Yeah. I think it could be okay to hold a 310 honor because you don't have to wait on it. You always have the choice between 2 weights. You can just choose whatever your other weight is.
Here. A non-2d10 honor, but that's paired up somewhere else. That other hand, of course, is Max's dealer. Ishanten now, with potential very tricky 8-so West Shabo.
Yeah, Suji Trap and Honor is pretty nice.
Oh, and backfires a little bit for holding the south and setting up the Suji trap.
It's a pretty reasonable Sakagiri choice as well because you do have the 3 pairs, so you only lose the 5-so draw.
Right. Normally, if you have fewer pairs, you lose not only the 1 pair turning into an Akko, but the second pair. But with 3 pairs, we still have 8-so and Shan to Tenpai.
Boom.
We'll just call for the Tenpai here. Do Yaku.
Yeah, it's getting pretty late in the round. Just wants the K10.
That does, put a little bit of pressure on the board to whoever, to the players that
Oliver,
can't see the Dora.
yeah, Oliver also E-Shanten now.
You should not willing to take a Richu with the 1 draw left.
Is he able to hold the Tenpai though? Oh, sorry, it's a 3-pin, not a 4-pin. Not quite Tenpai. It looks like it's just going to be Max and Bichan here.
Very,
At least Max gets another dealership here.
couple hands in a row that end in Ryukyoku. In this
Here we
case,
see
is because the hands are just not coming together.
First discard here. Maybe Max figuring this hand's difficult to be closed. Really wants to pair up one of these Yakuhai and actually does manage to find the east. Bichan on the right with quite an interesting hand. Looking like definitely going to go Honitsu there. Does already have the completed Anko in west. And then completed So block as well. Pretty nice start to a Honitsu for sure. Oliver is holding the Haku. We'll see how long holds on to that tile. Because I'm sure that Bichan would snap that call off right away. And here it comes.
Shanten for Beachin looking for a pair and the 7-so.
Oliver did find the pair of the Hatsu, which might come out from Bichan later. On chance. Actually just Timulgidi's it. Doesn't want to commit to the con. I think it's an okay spot to con because the Fu is actually pretty nice. It gives you almost an entire extra Han.
Yeah, Yakuhai Honitsu is
Boom.
just 3 Han here, so 4 would make it Mongon.
Chi.
But it is safer to just Timulgidi because it does give you easier chances to fold and you do keep the value of the other hands down a little bit. I think for me, just the 32 Fu is too tempting.
Next interesting move here to cut away from the 4-mon pair. Now can decide between the Diancon and the Shabo here, but the 4-pin is once cut, so sticks with the current weight.
Yeah, could have kept 2 pairs and then had the ability to pawn into Tenpai, but preferred this Ishan 10 instead.
Specifically pulling tiles that Beachin might be discarding, although he didn't manage to draw one until much later. Ooh, Sozu.
Not gonna discard it this late here. I think would have discarded earlier in the round, but perhaps still being Ishan 10 and being Odazuke on East this late in the round is gonna...
Chi.
And I mean, of course still does have Ishan 10 even after 4-pin.
Right.
Do you see Oliver calling to Tenpai in 4-7 so? Just Tatsu only.
Definitely should be Tenpai here, but might be in a little bit of trouble if Beachin does find Tenpai. It can shift the weight around to something that's not 4-7.
Chi.
Oliver goes ahead and just discards the 6-0, and Max is going to chi that. I guess this is a way to get Tenpai without having to cut any
Eat.
Sozu.
Shu found Tenpai and actually slams the Ricci with 2 Dora. Ricci, Dora 2 waiting 6-9. So Oliver in this position has no choice but to shove. And Max will not be able to call that for Tenpai, so lets it pass. Folds away. We'll go to Ryukyoku once more. 3 players, Tenpai. Third consecutive hand with no 10 payments. And Bichen comes out a big winner out of this dealership.
4 Homba now, as well as 2 Riji sticks. And Bichan does start with the Yakuhai pair.
Home.
2 Easts. And immediately gets the chance to call as well.
Feels like a natural call when you want to collect the sticks in the middle.
Yeah, I tend to already default to calling the first Yakuhai in the majority of hands. And with all the points in the middle, definitely calling this one. We do have some quick hands though. We have Oliver already, looks like 2 Shanten, and has Hatsu as well. Now draws the
Home.
Dora into Ishanten.
Shu opening up for an Ishanten of his own. Tanyao Dora 1 potential Sanchoku, 3-4-5.
Max gets a Kanchan fill, but actually the hand's not pretty good. It's actually Kutsuki Ishanten with Chanta chance. So actually quite nice. Oh wait, that was Tenpai.
With a 4-2
Yeah, so
cut.
yeah, I actually had a Tenpai, but didn't want to take the Richinomi when there was the Chanta chance.
Ooh, Tenpai 4.
Dong.
Beachin doesn't take it. Not with a 2-pin called. And we'll deal in the Takame Sanchoku to Shu, which means that the 4th place, 3rd place, still up for grabs, as well as 1st and 2nd. Yeah, it's understandable to not want to rely on Rinshan there, or the last 2-pin leaving someone else's hand.
Home.
Yeah, there was because I like had the chance. I think it was the 9, so it was one of the 9s. But if Max did draw around that, could have had like Chanta Sanchoku for a massive
Right.
hand, and so wanted to greed for that rather than take a Kanchan Richinomi, which is very understandable.
Home.
And even if the South comes out, you can pull in that and wait for Chanta Non.
Yep.
Speaking of the Non, we see Oliver with a pawn to the right. That is double Non. Ishanten. Wider Ishanten, but you lose your door acceptance dropping the 1 mon. Goes for it anyway.
Yeah, I think you just happy to take the Ryomen here.
2,000 point symbol will be enough for Oliver to jump into first.
Doesn't she? That has to be a mistake. I can't think of a reason you would ever skip.
Maybe accidentally hit the no calls button.
Yeah. Well, it looked like it lagged, and I think just like right click too
Oh, I see, I
quickly or
see.
something.
Yeah, I had one of those in my game earlier this week. I forgot my right click to pass was on and accidentally bumped it when my first draw of the
It
game.
can't because it happened really quick, so I think it was just some sort of unfortunate misclick.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, goes with a 3-pin instead of holding out for Sanshoku.
Well, not gonna get punished
Don't.
here. Did draw the Tuso himself, so it works out.
That sends us all lasted very quick South 3. Puts a lot of pressure on Max and Oliver here in this all last. Now the other two players feeling the heat as well because they have to defend their position.
Wow, I'm
Pump.
curious to see what Zhu does here. Okay, yeah, he's gonna go. I mean, I guess there's no reason not to go Honitsu, really. I guess you could cut like the Hatsu first. See what you. I don't know. There's really not a reason to not go Honitsu. It's just kind of funny because like, obviously in like any situation other than all last, this is like, oh yeah, obviously I'm gonna go Honitsu, but there's like considerations to just trying to go for. I guess you needed Yaku. You don't have confirmed Yaku because it's just a Haku otherwise. So
Right.
yeah, it is just gonna be
And the other
Honitsu.
thing is, in a league where there's cumulative points, just having
Yes.
more points is always a good thing.
Pump.
I was thinking East was also Yaku High for some reason. So yeah, it does.
Pump.
Here we
August
go,
the
guys.
Haku
Gonna
anyway.
be able to call in the Tempai. This is so fast. Honitsu Haku.
Oh, and Max is
Chi.
in so much trouble. Deals
Don't.
into
Yeah.
Oliver first though. That's ideal.
That is actually really good for Max.
If you're gonna
He's
deal
gonna
into
be like
someone,
a little annoyed and then see like after like, oh wait, no, that's actually I was just gonna deal into a more expensive hand there.
not only
Would have
more
ended the game.
expensive, but yeah, Max gets another chance here because Oliver won the hand, jumps into first place, but the game doesn't end. We have to repeat until the dealership passes.
Yeah, and this hand it's not too great from dealer here. There's like I don't know. Maybe I can turn it into a Tanyo or something or just draw well. There's like a 2-3-4, like really far away Sanshoku. I don't love the shapes though. Max has got a pretty good hand. Chance at 5-6-7 Sanshoku also has a Dora Hatsu. Need like a 3-Han hand to overtake. Draws another 3-mon. So could try for like Richi Pinfutsumo, I think would do it. Maybe 20. So it'd be like a 3,000 point hand plus 800. So like 3,800 would do it. So like Richi Pinfutsumo is enough for Max. And then also there's that Sanshoku chance.
Oh,
Wow, draws 5-mon.
getting
Okay.
more and more realistic. I mean, if with perfect draws, you could get Richi, Tanyao Pinhu, Ipeko, Sanshoku.
Yeah, he's holding that 5 so to if you can draw anything around that, you can just drop your 9-mon.
Bichin as well with perfect draw is going to have a fancy hand.
Each.
Oh, here's Tempai and just gonna take the Richi.
Slams it.
Yeah,
Richi
Richi
Sanshoku
Sanshoku.
confirmed this
That
will
does
do
it.
it. And Oliver has to be a little concerned here because a large enough sumo is going to drop him below Shu. And you have to expect that Max has built a hand with enough value to make that happen.
Yeah, you don't know for sure because sometimes you just take Richi and hope for like Sumo Ura, but definitely I think a good chance that it's Sumo would cause you to drop down. And we're gonna see Bichan gonna try to defend his 3rd place here, calling for the Tanyo Tempai on 7-8 so. There's very good chance that we'll drop to 4th here if Max wins this hand.
Oh, that's Tempai for Shu. Who just takes the dump on the 4-pin.
8 so drawn by Oliver, which is Suji to Max, although it is Richi tile Suji. We see a weight switch here to 3-6-9 so, but 9 so is no Yaku here.
Shu does not trust this 4-pin whatsoever. It's only one tile on the wall for Max's weight. One tile on the wall for Beechin. Beechin gets off of this, hates the
It's gonna
Four-Mon
fold.
for good reason. Monsu is the danger suit. Shu's out as well. And this is good news for Oliver, because if this goes to Ryukoku, he'll be able to retain first place if Shu's not Tenpai.
Beechin did draw back into Tenpai. And keeps it here. Free. No, no, is it? That's not 30-10. I thought. Never mind. Just 369 so again somehow.
Minoyaku this time. I've been
Yeah.
cleared before. It's Max missed his last draw.
Yeah,
And
that's looks like that's gonna do it.
Beechin maintains the Tenpai.
Didn't necessarily need to maintain Tenpai, but was able to do so safely enough that we'll take the extra points. And also, it could have mattered if there was another round.
Right, with the Ricci stick. Max not in range. Oliver, though, takes the first place, just barely. Now the Ryukyoku did help, but it was very tense in that final situation. It came down to, honestly, who Max dealt into first. He was destined, no matter what he did, to deal in, but he picked the right player. He picked the cheap hand and the hand that gave him a chance to win. Took the
Yeah.
Ricci with a chance to win and just couldn't find the winner.
He was able to get the Sanchoku draws to have enough value, but just wasn't able to win the Champon.
All right, well, that was game number 3. They're playing all 4. The next one is set to start in about 4 minutes. Let me take a quick peek at what happened in the first couple games just to get us all caught up. Let's see. The first game, Beachshen with the first place, plus 34.8. Shu took a very big second place. Plus 18.7 means that he was at 38,000 points. Oliver took the third place and Max the fourth. It looks like Beechin got off to a very early lead, over 50,000 points. Actually, 50,000 points by the time he got to his dealership in South rounds, and just confirmed that all the way through. In the second game, Shu took a plus 22.1 first, and a plus 5.7 second went to Beechin. The big hand of that game was Shu winning a Baimon Richi Tsumo Sadanko Dora 3 Ura. Oliver came back with a Hanuman to at least make it close. Only could find a third place there. Minus 5.3, and Max took the fourth. And of course, we saw the result of this game. Much different from the previous games. I mean, game number 1, there were what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different Mongon plus hands. And the second game, half of the hands were Mongon plus. And in this game, there's only one Mongon.
Yeah, we just had that one, and it didn't even look like it was going to be Mongon until Era 2.
That's right. It was the West pair that found the Ura. That was the big hand for Oliver, who ended up winning the game. And sometimes the game's like that, right? It's very cheap hands going back and forth, very tense game where no 10 payments matter a lot. And then one player wins a big hand and they get their first place.
Yeah. I think the games where there's like a bunch of small hands can be fun. I find the games where they're just constantly going to Ryukyoku to be a bit dragging. Those aren't necessarily my favorite, although they definitely can be very skill testing. But I think my favorite games are like where it's just a lot of action, like quick hands, whether they're small or like. Yeah, I don't know. I think games with a lot of small hands can be fun. I know some people don't like it when there's just all small hands, but
Yeah, I don't mind
I
that
think they make for
either.
fun games.
Um, but it is bad. It does feel a little bad being the player trying to build the Mongons every hand and getting cut short with a cheap hand.
Yeah, that can be tough for sure.
So definitely the play style might factor into that opinion a little bit. Over here we see the overall standings. Anything stand out to you in A1 so far? I
I
guess you'd
mean,
have to look at
just
the
the three straight fourths for Max, I think, is definitely the first thing I noticed. Which just, I guess we can already look at these like very sort of pointless stats, but you could see like 8% win rate, 17% dealing rate. It's like, yeah, this hasn't been the greatest start for Max.
Yeah,
Hasn't been able to get the wins here.
having the stats for the early portion of the season is not very indicative of general
No, they're
performance.
entirely meaningless, but they're very fun to look at, I think.
Now, what is
You
the
get to see
wildest?
silly things like, oh yes, Jonathan with a 34% win rate, very good.
Amazingly, I have the highest participation rate. That is insane.
Where is that? Oh wow, yeah, look at that, 60%, nice, 40%
It's
call rate, getting that up
extremely
there.
unusual. It's because I've only played 2 games. Who's got the highest deal-in rate? Steve, 32%.
Dustin, no, Steve, someone's ahead of Dustin, dang.
Again, only 2 games. They were
Yeah, two
very, very
games.
unlucky games. So Steve,
32% dealing rate, oof.
we'll be finishing our table tomorrow, and I anticipate the tables to turn a little bit.
Alright, well, we're underway here, Oliver this time with the first dealer. Hormondora does have a Ryamen which could accept it. Shapes aren't the best. Well, three pin draw is really nice here. Now you maybe, yeah, the 3-pin draw helps. Let's see on the right here for Zhu. Does have a nice like 3, 4, 5, 6 Pinzu shape. Far away 3, 4, 5 Sanchoku maybe. Now finds the Chun Yakuhai pair, although that is once cut by Oliver. Max filling in a Kanchan, also has the Monzu Ryunkan, but the has some tricky upper Pinzu Kanchans or upper Kanchans to fill. And then looks like Bichen has the 8-pin Onko and has probably the best hand here. Also chances to go Tanyo. Is currently Kutsuki Ishanten. Oh no, sorry, it's still 2 Shanten, but getting there.
Yeah, but you imagine that So Shape's gonna fill very soon, like right now.
And there we go. Yeah, just predicted the draw.
Exactly.
Gonna cut the 3 so.
Oh, nice.
I think maybe it's slightly more efficient there to drop either probably the 6-pin. You want to keep the 5-mon for Dora, but I really like the 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so shape. That's like an incredibly wide Kutsuki shape.
Oh, because you can ignore the 5, 6, 7, just see that as a bit of a Nakabukude.
Yeah, but it's even better because like you could draw like 8 so or something.
Yeah.
Well, instead, draws another 5-mon, and it's actually gonna take Dama, Tanyo, Tenpai. 7-mon already once cut, so it's just a 3-tile wait here for Tanyo Nomi. Well, and now gets the improvement here, and let's see if we reach the Arya men, or is going to continue to Dama.
You take the 4-7 doorway, take the Ipeco away. Uchus.
Oh, it did right. I forgot there was also the Ipeco option. It's gonna go for that. Does add an extra Han.
Yeah, definitely. Usually a slightly worse weight here, but forces more value because there's no guarantee.
Yeah,
even if you took the 4-7 Dora weight, that you'd actually draw the Dora.
Right. I was definitely thinking about the 4-7 Dora weight, but
5-8's also maybe more likely to win, given that you can see through the 7s.
Yeah, I think 5-8's the highest win rate, and
Each.
then 4-7 has the best chance to lead Sumo Dora. But here we go. The Ipeco is definitely gonna work out here.
This is
Chitanyo Ipeco.
greeting for value just rewarded here. V10 picks up the 5,200 points and will send us into East 2. Yeah, that's such an interesting situation. 5-8 Mon, probably slightly better win rate. The Ipeco that he chose, best guaranteed value. And then the 4-7 Mon, sort of a hedge in between. Actually, probably doesn't have a very good win rate because it's the Dora, and the 7 Mon was already cut once and he had a pair in your hand. So 6-mon weight might have been better actually than the 4-7.
I think you could make an argument for all 3 of the choices.
Absolutely, but he picked the right one from in the hindsight perspective. And now Shu's dealer has an opportunity to incorporate 2 Dora into this hand. See if he
I think we'd definitely look to Chi Forso. I'm interested to see if like a 6-pin would get called. It's a bit awkward trying to Autozuke with double acceptance on the Forso, but Forso being Dora, you kind of want that one anyways.
Yeah, it's especially tricky when one side you can't use and the other side is Dora and you're not expecting to be able to call.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward. I might pass 6-pin. Well, now we draw 7 so now you could even call like 6-pin into Tenpai, which I think I would go for. It's gonna go ahead and just cut the 7-mon. I think maybe this is a little early. because I might have wanted to have the chance. Yeah, like here's a 6-mon, which would have been really nice because you have the 3-4-5-5 as a possible RMN shape to find a pair. So I think I really would have put a lot of value in keeping that chance to use the 7-8 Ryomen. But just finds the 8-pin anyways, and so now is Ryomen Ishanten.
Next, all right, pulls an Adora Ishanten for Tanya Dora 1. Needs a 7-pin and has a 5-8 shape to fill as well in the Manzu. Dichen might be thinking about 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku, but these shapes are all quite difficult. Ipeko chance at the upper Manzu now. All over this abundance of pairs. Might struggle to put this hand together without calling for Tanya.
I'll go draw for Bichen now.
1
To Ishanten.
リーチ
Oliver also going to call here, and that does shift the wall to give Zhu Tenpai. Found the Dora Forso.
Reach Pinfu.
Richie Pinfu Dora.
Potential Tanya on the 6-pin as well. Oh, here's the 9. Max gets Tenpai. He might shove it. Doesn't look good against the dealer Ricci, though. But all the Sotaus look bad as well, so...
Now just going to be able to go 4-mon, which was Nakasuji, and avoid having to cut any Pinzu.
Bichen's Tenpai.
Bichen draws the 9-pin.
Would he dare
Is
shove
Dama
the
Tenpai
9-pin?
here?
He can't see any Dora. That is a dealer Ricci. Yeah, backs away.
Goes ahead and defends.
He has one more draw to find Tenpai again.
I think I might have Richi'd when I hit Senpai and just dealt in there.
I guess he gets one more chance. 5-pin is safe. No, misses. Although Max ended up pairing up 6-pin and 9-pin and waiting on that to find Tenpai as well. So Shu and Max both picking up 1,500 points. Shu will leave a stick in the middle. There'll be a Homba added to the pot, and we will go again.
Not the best dealer hand. Does have a floating Dora. Chances to go Tanyo. We can see keeping all these Yakuhais, trying to pair up one of those as a way to maybe open the hand, is cutting these like Tuso and 8-mon. Valuing the Yakuhai a bit more here. Max's hand looks a bit faster. Already completed Sozu shape, has the Monzu Ryankan, and as well as the Dora 3-pin. Bichen's hand is about the same speed as Max's, maybe like one step behind. It doesn't have any Dora, but does have the 2-pin. And then Oliver with quite a fast looking hand. Is already Ishan 10. And has a pretty nice Pinzu shape, which could maybe improve the Ishan 10 a bit. Here's a Zhu thinking about calling for Tanyo here. He's going to go ahead and call this.
We've seen him do this pretty consistently on his dealership. If he has the opportunity to open up for a Tanya Dora 1, something like that, he will take that chance.
Next draws a 4-pin, just gonna shift that with the 1-pin. Maybe if you keep shifting, you can somehow end up with a Sanchoku, but for the meantime, that hand's just Ishan 10.
1
Second call for Shu. Ishan 10 now with a chance at 3-5 Sanchoku. Really wants the 4-pin though.
Maybe 6-pin here to keep the Dora. No, just gonna throw 3-mon back.
Yeah, dropping the 6-pin does give you pull on the 2-pin or...
Well, now you're Tenpai. So playing the 4-pin.
Yeah, Dora Tenpai, no Sanchoku. Oh, sorry, there's no So shape. For some reason, I thought he had a G to 3-4-5 So. No, that's a 7 So pull. But still, looking for one of the 2 remaining Dora.
The weight's on the 4-pin, so the door's 3-pin.
Oh, you're right. I mean, wouldn't hurt to draw one of the
No, I would take a
to
door
draw a
for
Dora,
sure.
but no, you're right. Oh, there is a 4-pin, but I don't think Max is dropping that.
Boom.
Opponent to Tempai can actually win on the 4-pin as well.
Pin no Yaku.
It is Furitan as well. Must be a
Oh, yeah.
Tsumo. Oh,
So I guess can't actually win on 4-pin unless it's Sumo.
right. And now the last 4-pin is drawn, so Max just hoping for Yukioku and no 10 payments. Looks like we're going to get there. Bichen, does he dare push the 7? He does, holds Tempai. And Oliver will be the only player missing out here. So another fairly quiet game from these players. Seeing a lot of...
Here we go, another Ryukyoku round.
Right? The only hand we've had so far, winning hand, is that 5,200 Richi Tanyawi Peiko from Bichen earlier in the game.
We're going to see Honitsu attempt from Zhu. We'll see if Max gives him enough time. We're calling the Chun Yakuhai for Ishan 10 at the moment.
Kang.
Khan, let's go.
6-mon Dora does give the hand an extra Dora.
Max says, I'm
Boom.
Ishan
So
10,
gives
this
a
is good enough.
Dora to Bichen. We do have a Ton Anko from Oliver, who's going to go ahead and call the 1-pin.
Alright, if the tone comes out from
Richi.
Shu... Oh, never mind. We can see a Richi. Richi Tanyao Dora 1 waiting on
Chi.
3-mon.
And that's not going to slow down Zhu. Still going to go ahead and try to push this. Max draws 3-mon, but that's going to fit into the hand. Tempai now, 5-8 so.
Max doesn't really have any way to fold here, so might as well just shove. You've got a good weight.
Yeah, Ryamen wait with Dora 1. Another 5 so drawn here. Oh, and there we go. So Max is going to take this one, the 2-Han 40, and picks up the sticks in the middle as well. Nice 5,200 points off that.
All things considered, that con made things spicy, but Max did benefit the most from it.
Yeah, gave the hand an extra like 1,600 points.
Max now the dealer in East 3. 3 pairs already. A lot of Kanchan and Penchon shapes.
Yeah, pretty ugly here. It's just gonna go 7-mon and try to just play maximum efficiency here. Try to draw into some of these bad shapes. Really hoping for a Dora. Speaking of the Dora, there's 2 on the right in Bichen's hand. Who does also have a completed block in Sozu. It's got some tiles that still like some pretty weak shapes with like the 2 4-pin Kanchan. And then, okay, well, that does draw into another nice floater with the 2-mon. Oliver with a lot of pairs here. 4 pairs, all Tanyo. Looks to be pretty well set up to go open Tanyo if Oliver does want to. A lot of calling chances. And then Zhu with a quick hand as well here. Already 2 Shan 10 with all nice shapes. I guess the 779 Ryung Kan or Kanchan pair isn't quite ideal, but now you can actually just discard the 9-mon, although perhaps worried about the Frieden on 2-pin. I think I would just discard 9-mon. I want to go Tanya direction anyways. And I think that the 4, 5, 6, 7-pin, especially if 7-pin door, is pretty valuable. But this is more efficient. Could have also considered like a 7-so.
Max had drawn well, but had an interesting decision whether to hold the west and north pairs and cut the Dora shape Penchon, or drop the pair to hold for the Dora. Chooses the latter. West and north both being once cut.
Oliver did draw into a 5th pair and is now committing to the Chitoy.
Clever little move there by Max, discarding the 6-pin, not Karagiring the 9-pin.
リーチ
We'll slam the Ricci.
Does hide the weight a little bit, although I don't know if it's gonna matter because it is Dora anyways.
Yeah, if this was a non-Dora weight, certainly might help a little bit.
I think that trick works a little better if it's not Dora. I might have just thrown 9-pin and then at least you can redraw 5-pin and have an improvement for 4-5-6 Shanshoku.
That is true. 5-pin would have been a nice draw there.
Like, I'd already discarded earlier, but you can hope to try to draw one back.
Mhm.
No chance of fruity 10 or anything like that, so.
Bichen Ishantan. Can hope to find Tempai. 2 chances, 1 to call, 1 to draw. Doesn't quite make it. Max will be the only player to Tempai another Ryukyoku hand.
Yeah, that's at least 3 we've had this game.
Right.
Alright, well, here's a pretty good hand for Max. It does have the Haku. I guess the Penchant and the Kanchan aren't great, but there's also like a Chanta chance, although it seems like just gonna maybe at least go for efficiency with the... Yeah, starting with just discarding the West I think makes the most sense. Don't necessarily need to... Well, here we go, 9-mon, now maybe you think about Chanta. You
Yeah.
can still discard like 8 so... Maybe... I don't know, I'd be between 4-mon and 8 so I think you can consider either one. Well, now you draw 6-mon, so you're pretty happy you could 4-mon. Could even be Honitsu. There's also Itsu chance.
Yeah, you don't even feel that bad if you have to cut away from the Penchan or this Kanchan. Maybe a little bit about the
I
Penchan
suppose
because of
that
the Dora acceptance.
9 so being twice cut makes 8 so discard a lot better as well.
Well, it's the South.
It looks like Max
Kanchan.
does want to go for a Honitsu.
And now we're feeling sad about the West pair, but it was too early in the round to know what direction the hand was going at that point.
Here comes the Hatsu, and they might get called. No, Oliver's gonna go ahead and let it pass. He's gonna
1
try to go for a closed hand here, not happy for just the Hatsunomi.
Ishantan with a perfect Ishantan, so Oliver has his eyes set on slightly
Zhu
larger
opening.
prize.
Max didn't get the Chanta, but Zhu's going for it here with the Chanta Sanchoku.
Also disguising it a little bit as a
リ
Honitsu.
ーチ
Well, order for the patience here. Just get the Richi. Just Richi Nomi. See how Zhu reacts. 7 so is Suji.
Yeah, relatively
Looks
safe.
pretty safe. Max draws into an Onko. 2 so 1 so doesn't look that bad. Yeah, it's gonna go cut the 1 so
Sumo.
Suji. But there's Ipatsumo, so the patience looks like it's rewarded here with Ipatsu and Sumo. No error of it. Does get a lot more points than the hand would have been worth if just called the Hatsu.
Absolutely, and that's pretty big for Oliver, who now is a lot closer to catching up to the rest of the table.
Now into Bichan's dealership, who looks like has a chance at an Itsu, but also just like some strong blocks. Now drawing the 1 so pair, but that's probably making Itsu a little bit less likely, but good setup for just like a Richi Pin Fudora. Oliver does have a chance at a Ipeko here. Also some pretty nice blocks. Has the door 7-mon, which doesn't really connect to anything at the moment. It's still going to keep it around, but now just Ishan 10 for Pinfu Ipeko chance. If you do draw 8-mon, you can go ahead and like discard 9-mon for Headless. Or you could discard like... I think that'd probably be the best discard. You could try to keep the REMM, but I think that it'd be weaker than the Monzu just going Headless.
The other hand's a little bit slow in developing, but Bichan already Ishantan at this point. I
リ
guess.
ーチ
Ooh.
Alright, here we found the 4-mon for Tenpai.
Richi Pihu waiting 2-5-mon. They'd have to give up the door for the Richi, but I mean, if things go as well as the last one did. Oh, not quite.
Not this time.
Still 4 tiles in the wall here. Beachen's probably got enough value that we won't be concerned about taking this fight. So far hasn't had to throw anything too risky. And here's Tempai. Smashes the Ricci for 7-pin, which just started coming out from Max. Dropped 2 of them.
If he waited a turn, I'm sure it would have come out again from Max, but you don't know that for sure. As from Beachen's perspective.
Right. Usually you're dropping from pair, not an Anko.
Yeah.
And the pins do look relatively inexpensive. Just
And there's the Tsumo.
Tsumo. Tsumo, Piftora. And the Uda. That's monstrous for Beachen. And just like that, we have a new leader. It's amazing what a dealer Mangan Sumo can do. Dora Chun. Beachen's got one of those. And the others have one around the table. Quickly looking to the right, though, Oliver Ishanten already for Richi Pinfu Sanshoku.
Very nice high pie. Now has a door tune, which can sort of just hold and see if you pair it up randomly, but it also kind of works as a safe tile.
Yeah, no, that's been twice cut. Shoot across the table, Ishanten. Potential Richi Pinfu, but probably wants to draw into something like Ipeko and Pinfu with a better weight. Kind of needs to make a decision here, though, and just sticks with the Ishanten. Wider Ishanten. Can also upgrade to Tanya with 6 so draw.
Well, didn't get the Sanshoku side, but does still get the first row Pinfu Ricci from Oliver.
6-9 pin is the weight. 5 tiles on the wall. Ooh, Tempai. Should we push the 5 pin? Set up a Suji trap? Yeah.
That is what we're going to see. 5-pin Ricci. Just Ricci Nomi.
With 3 of the Dora being discarded, it's impossible for that to be part of Oliver's weight. So you're thinking Ricci, Pinfu, Tanya maybe, as ways to get value. You could have Sanshoku for max value. I say max value, I'm not talking about light pink Yoshi. Oddly enough, still 2 8-pin left in the wall versus 3 of the 6-9 pin.
On chance. Let's see. Is there going to be a? Can you deny a draw right here? Right now, looks like you actually can deny a draw. Not gonna get to see that. Max got a call on his final draw.
Right. Instead, Sumo for Oliver again, missing Uda though. But that will advance dealership. And Oliver does catch up to Shu now. They're tied for 3rd and 4th. Just as a note, I mean, it's probably not going to end this way. But if 2 players do finish the game with the same score, they split the UMA bonus. So in this case, it would be a -15 4th and a -5 3rd place. They would both take -10 as a result. And importantly, for the records, it will count in the standings as a 3rd place for both players. Which is very important if your goal is to finish the season with 0 fourths.
That's kind of funny. I didn't actually know that about the standings.
Yeah, a couple seasons ago I had that happen. Anthony and I tied, and at that time I had 0 4th places, so I was very interested in that being the case.
We do have Max going for either Honitsu or Chinitsu even here. He's had a lot of Monzu draws in a row. Now Menhon Chito Ishanten.
Yeah, this is exciting. I mean, dealer also looking quite strong with Riichi Tanya Pin Fudora, perhaps. Oh, it's
Oh,
Tenpai.
Tenpai! And immediately
Hellweight
slams the
shove.
West Tonki. This is Hellweight.
Now, did he
Didn't even think
see
about
that
it.
Shu dropped the second one? Or
Just immediately was like, yes, I want the Hellweight. Let's go. I mean, Hellweight
It's pretty
Chijoku
good
Donki
here.
on the honor is actually pretty good Chitoi weight.
Chi.
the Oliver calls into Tenpai now waiting 3-6 Mon.
It's
Not
a slightly better weight than the final West. But here we go. I mean, I'm kind of rooting for the West. I like to see the Hellweights win.
absolutely. You can't really tell that it's Chitoi. It's weird that the 4-so was dropped first, the 3-so was dropped on the second turn, the Dora 3-so. So you're definitely kind of
Yeah.
wondering why that was dropped
I would
ahead of...
not. I would not be playing around Hellweight West. That's
Right.
the advantage of Hellweight.
Wait,
It's,
maybe you could read
you don't usually
Honitsu.
play around it.
Oh,
Oh no, it doesn't work.
We'll have to check the wall and see if it was buried in the dead wall. That will actually help Beachin out a little bit, as all players below 30,000 except for Beachin, who has an Ankon of the Haku if he wants it.
Is not gonna call it right away. I kind of want to just immediately call that. Your hand is pretty good too. You have like Honitsu chance. I want the 32 Fu in the draw right now.
It, depending on what you
But
draw.
I guess maybe like is thinking like if you're going Honitsu, he's gonna cut all the non-mon styles and then con.
Depending on what you draw, though, you might have wanted to call that 8 Mon. Say you conned into the second 9 Mon, you might just pull an 8 Mon there.
Yeah, that's the advantage of conning earlier. You get to see your draw sooner. Atsu Onko now drawn for Zhu.
Boom.
Sorry, that's not an Onko. That's a South. That's not triple Onko.
But it definitely looks like Honitsu in the Dora suit and shot
Gee.
on by Beachin. Ooh, second call. This is getting very real. The rest of the table has to be very concerned, particularly about it being the Dora suit.
Yeah.
Beachin says,
Still,
"You're
this
not
hand's still
Tenpai
pretty
yet."
far away, but it is always hard to know exactly how strong the hand was before it started calling. You can see Max is still not afraid yet. It's still cutting one
Boom.
side. But now 3 calls. Now maybe might get a little scared.
3 calls.
We'll see if
2
Zhu wants to
honor
call a
overflows.
Hatsu. Yeah, it's just gonna pass. Oh, okay, nice. Why call it when you can just draw it?
When
That's
you
better.
know it's the next draw, why bother, right?
Yeah,
Just stay
exactly.
closed. Encouraging some.
We'll see. Also a chance for Beachin to call. Beachin is gonna call here. It's gonna be tricky if the hand draws another Sotile.
Oh, what a fill for Max, but you have to cut a so tile and ends up going with a 2-so.
Yeah, it's not buying this. Like 3 calls, like nah, I don't think you're Tenpai yet. And,
Okay, what about
that's
the
correct.
the third honor Tadashi? Is it Tenpai now?
We'll see. We'll see how if Max plays around this
Chi.
or the rest of the table. Well, this could be a Tenpai call, but no, I'm not gonna cut a Sotile. I think one pin looks a lot better here than just taking the random Champ on Tenpai. Because it's
Agreed.
pretty easy to get Tenpai here. This is like a very reasonable Moashi.
Yeah, you can draw 2-pin, 3-pin,
Sumo.
or Sumo.
Oh, or yeah, there we go. Just Sumo.
Didn't even start talking about all of the so trials that could be drawn as Senpai. But that's the monster for Oliver. He was looking for Honitsu Dora 2 and jumps into first place with that hand.
Well, it does now have the South Yaku High, but the rest of the hand shapes are all pretty terrible. At least now has a Ryamen, which could accept Dora. Sanshoku chance, Sanshoku Chanta chance for Zhu. I don't know. Again, like the hand looks pretty bad. Max's hand also kind of has some bad shapes, although it does now find an Eitso to get, the Ryamen.
Boom.
We are going to see the South called by dealer here, whose hand is actually looking a bit better now. Is Ishan 10 and also has the 7 Mon to possibly improve the shapes so you're not stuck on Kanchan.
Oh, how about Kanchan Diancon?
Well, you're always going to end up with bad weight unless you improve it here, but at least it is a wider Ishan 10.
Yeah, the rest of the table, not a pleasant looking situation. Ooh, interesting
There's an
choice
improvement.
here.
I like the choice to just drop away from the 5-7 pin here. You expect the 2-so weight to be a little easier to win on than the 6 pin. And fine stemp by now.
Now with a call and 2 Diankan, I guess the Mon shape was more of a Tadashi. Sorry, a Tsumokiri, so you can't even call that a Diankan cut. But a call into middle tile Diankan is certainly
I think you
suspicious.
can definitely maybe play around this hand, especially if you have a hand like Zhu's. Like Zhu's hand just looks really far from Tenpai. I think could probably play around dealer being Tenpai already. But you can see Zhu is still willing to push the 6 mon.
Bichen Chito Ishanten played out the safe force so because Max pushed that earlier. Yeah, and Shu probably has nothing to play for in this hand. This is just a mess. No need to get involved here.
Yeah, we'll just be looking to safely defend until the end of the round.
Max has some incentive to fight though, Ishanten for Richi Pinfu. But the 2-5-8 pin kind of leaving the hands. 3 of the 5s out, so all 4 visible. 3 of the 8s out. The 2 has been discarded. So that Sanmenchan not as good as you might expect it to be. With 15 draws left, Max might be thinking about just calling for K10.
Each.
Or just drawn to Tenpai.
Yeah, forget the 2-5-8 when you could just draw the Anko. Richi.
Denied the
Dora
perfect Ishan-ten with the 7-pin pair, but then the next turn drew the 3-pin pair and decided, you know what, I'll keep this one. Oh, never mind,
it's
it's
just
the
the
stick
Richi
donation.
donation. And the Homba are starting to mount up here. Oliver picks
Yeah,
up.
that's a very expensive Nomi hand.
Richi stick as well, and Oliver's looking good here at 44,000 points. Technically, Dion Shanten with Kanchan. Oh, Ishanten Kanchan.
Wow. Can Oliver continue this dealership?
Oh, an
Pretty good
improvement.
hand.
Normally you'd go with the so cut here, but that's a Dora shape, so we're just going to go with the 5-7 instead. On the right, Shu looking at great shapes for Tanya Dora 2. Across the way, Max with a callable hand. Do you want to try
Yeah,
to
4 pairs definitely probably wants to try to call.
stay ahead of Shu here? Oh, I'll bet Oliver.
That's not going to happen.
Each.
Yeah, takes the tempo here. Was really hoping for 1-3 Sanchoku, but says, you know, Richi Dora 1 as dealer, good enough. Even with awkward 8, so wait, which still has 3 in the wall. Suji created post Richi, that's always pleasant. No one with an 8 so to fall for it, though. Is this the classic case of Suji trapping the wall?
Could be.
Be interesting to see how Shu in particular reacts with a good hand. Oh,
Max can just at least start with 2-mon here. No need to cut 8 so yet. The hand's still pretty far from Tenpai, and doesn't actually really have much value.
yeah, is Max going to hope to incorporate the Dora? Maybe that will give him a value worth fighting for.
Especially
Bye.
with 7-so Dora. Oh, well, okay, now there's a second Richi, so now 8-so definitely not coming out from Max.
Furiten.
Yeah, good point. Takes the Furiten Sanmenchan. It is a Dora 2.
And
Richi Tsumo Dora 2.
decent chance at Tanya as well.
Dong.
The Tsuji does come out from Beachin.
Yeah, with Suji to both players. Reasonable attempt at defense, and it will deal into Oliver, who now is the only player over 30,000 at 50,000 points. Would you believe that in like East 3, Oliver was in last?
Yeah, that is crazy. This has been a quite run of nice hands here. Still on the dealership.
It's a nice thing. As long as you have a dealership, you're never really out of it.
Yeah, it is kind of the nice comeback mechanic in the game. You don't really have to panic about your score until you lose your final dealership. After that, you sometimes have to start getting creative, trying to win only like a Mongon or something. I mean, in ARML, sometimes you can just win a cheap hand and just give up on trying to improve your placement. But
Right. The most interesting hand. I mean, Toyman's got good shapes, probably the best shapes out of all the players. But no Dora. Just Tanya is the best. Tanya Pinfu is the best value. And not even
yeah,
getting that with
maybe
a
there's a
one-pin
way
draw.
this hand could have gotten 2, 3, 4 Sanchoku, not after one pin draw though.
Perfect Ishanten.
Yep, gonna lock the 4 mon as the pair, so you have the Sozu Sanmenchan.
It's gonna be tough for anyone to catch up to this. Beechin might be able to call for 789 Sanchoku, but then you also have to find a 4 or 7 mon to incorporate the Dora. Well, here's the 7 mon. We'll start with the 7, so no call.
Drew has a Tenpai now. No, sorry, that's not quite Ishanten still, but it's a very nice Ishanten. Ramen with Ipeko Chance and Door 2.
Yeah, so good. If you draw the 1, so you can even cut the East and hedge. Dion Peko.
Eat.
Instead, we'll just fight
Now
Tenpai.
it's Tenpai.
Slam
Immediately
the
Richi's.
Richi.
Eat.
Chase immediately. Max drew the... the hand took a big shift, cut the 7 so to hold the door accepting 7 mon, then drew the Anko of the 4 mon and takes the Richi this way. 369 so for Max and for shoots the 5-8 mon. Seeing 2 tiles left in the wall for Max and a lot more for...
Boom.
Sorry for shooting, a lot more for Max. Uda 2 will
Whoa,
make
we're at
this
2! I thought Max's hand is the
sting.
cheap one, but that's gonna make it sting a bit more.
Yeah, Max says, I'm done with getting 4th places. You can take that role from me. Back over, well, exactly at 30,000 points, which in this league is a positive finish.
Had an interesting high pie from Zhu, who had the 4 1-pin and a 2-pin, and was deciding, should I con now or later? And just decides cons right away. And now actually draws into the Anko of the East as well. So it doesn't have any Dora, but it does at least have the 32 Fu from the con, which makes, if it can get a possible reach, he could have quite a bit of value.
Definitely looks like he's thinking about moving towards Honitsu.
Well, hard because of the 1-pin con, if we're talking about Zhu.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
But is now Kutsuki Ishanten finding the 9-pin pair.
Boom.
Speaking of Ishanten, Max's hand is quite funny.
Yeah, has 5 pairs and then a West Anko. Kind of wants to really be Toy Toy. It also has Dora pair as well. I mean, it could also just be like a Haku Dora too. Has a lot of options.
This is Tenpai. This is sneaky. He's gonna reach you this. No,
Yeah.
he does.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow, that is very surprising.
Boom.
Maybe he's holding out for a possible...
Maybe we'll now reach after the after we see the call. We'll see.
I think so. I mean, your upgrade
I don't
is
really know what you're
potential
waiting
Sun
for.
Anko, which is somewhat limited.
There we go. Just to wait 1 turn. Even in A1, we gotta throw the wait 1 turns mixed in.
No
con chance but no
con.
con. Yeah, that's fair. Very fair, very fair.
Tenpai for Oliver, but declines. Plays the safe one. Relatively safe. Was Tenpai for Beechan.
It's 1 so Tonki with no Yaku.
So
Boom.
now with
Max can
price
call.
cut. Oh, that's a
3-6
much
pin
better weight.
tempai.
It's also 50-10. If Beachin draws the 8 mon, I guess there's only one left, but if he redraws the 8 mon, oh no, they're all gone. Never mind. I found the 4th.
Max did have to break tempai, drew the 9 pin and didn't want to push it. Bichan has a super wide weight now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, no. Yeah, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8 pin, but didn't want to reach it.
Thought about it, strongly considered it.
I'm surprised you don't reach this. Like a 5-sided weight with a con? I wouldn't be able to resist.
Well, in the end, it was all for naught. No penthouse came out. 3 players managed to maintain a tempi there, including the dealer, who will retain their spot at the helm. Hoping to make a run back in this game. Maybe have to do it with Chitoy.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a Chitoy hand. I can't really imagine this hand as anything else.
Well, tempi.
Yeah, okay,
Eat.
turn 3 Ricci.
On once cut
That's the nice
Chun.
Chun Talkie here. And how many pairs? Is that 5 pairs for Max as well now? Oh my gosh, Chitoy Chase!
Well, Dama here.
You could Dama this, yeah.
I mean, you could also pull in the south in the future and just have
You
double
could,
non-Dora too.
Yeah.
This is Chitoy Dora
I don't
too.
know.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh,
Wait,
he's
wait,
gonna
wait!
on
Ricci
it.
7 so.
gonna
Ricci
wait on
7
it.
so. Yes.
Yes, let's go.
There we go.
This is the only way he doesn't deal in. And now whoever draws the Chun is gonna be so doomed.
Oh please, that would be fantastic. Chun double roll and deal into 2 Chitoys. I'm sorry for whoever deal into it, but the content would be too good.
Oh, it's a
Sumo.
Sumo.
Oh,
Chun
it's
gets
gonna be
it.
dealer Sumo.
It's gonna come back with this hand. Reaching Sumo Chitoy's 96-minute Una!
Or a 2!
It's
It was
just-
the Chun! Oh my gosh!
No way.
It was the Chun!
Imagine a double roll there. That would have been tragic. Instead, Shu, without win, comes all the way back into second from 4th. And what do we say? As long as you have a
Boom.
dealership, you have a chance.
Oh my gosh. The Chun Chitoy battle is won by Zhu.
Well, we know who is the king of the dragons. Shu in command now, at least in second place, and the dealership continues. We're not done yet. Oliver has
Boom.
other ideas. Opens up with the Haku. And Max as well.
Yeah, probably thinking about trying to make it out to a Honi too.
Definitely
Backfire
needs the
a
value.
fin.
Okay. That's not only a so tile, but that's a very green so tile. We just get a
Oh, you're
couple
right.
more of
That is an
these.
awfully green so tile. That is a fantastic point.
You know, if we're salty enough about not being able to win that shoot Chitoy, Dora 2, we might get a little creative with the hand. You know, it depends on the draws, of course.
Ruriso is one of those Yakus I just never consider. I always forget about it.
I don't think he should be considering it here, but
no, not with like the 7 so being so crucial to the hand.
right? Oliver is getting
But it is fun
dangerously
to think
close
about.
to Honitsu here. Oh, but shoot, nice draw into potential 2-4 Sanchoku.
Chi.
Ishel then for
We have
Oliver.
Dama Chitoy Tenpai for Bichan.
On the
Even
7
that
so.
7 so.
Minus 50-10. Shu, the kind of a monster here. He can Shi the 2-mon, or even Otozuke call here. Would he do that? Lets it pass.
Not gonna go for it. I think maybe that's a pretty good call
Boom.
here. Like the 2-mon looks fairly easy to win on. And it is Sanchoku Door 2.
Yeah.
I would be very tempted.
Well, Max is well waiting on the 7-mon, so 7-so, so Beechin cannot switch the weight anymore. Might not even want
I
to
draw
toss
the
this
3
3.
so.
If it
You do see 3 of the 4 so's, but you don't see any of the 3 so itself.
goes
Okay,
for it,
does find the discard.
and Max could have called there and switched the weight, but it would be a bit transparent and chooses to just hold on to the current
It
weight.
actually just had calls out turned off.
Sumo.
Well, Max does get the Honitsu Tsumo here.
Follows the
So actually overtakes Beachan now.
follows the Claire school of weights. Always wait on 7-so.
Nice high pie here for Max. I think got some pretty good shapes. Also has one of the Dora Shaw. Beachan could maybe consider going for just a Tanyo, depending on what the hand draws. It would be kind of nice to make it just winning 1,000 points. You would at least temporarily get into third place again and make it off Max's dealership. Although that is a very precarious lead with your dealership.
These have been some very nice draws for Beechin already. Kutsuki Shanten here. Perfect draw
Wow,
again.
Tenpai. Well, now you just instantly Ricci here. Ricci Tanyao.
3-6-mon, 3 tiles in the wall.
Max probably gonna try to fight if possible. You could maybe go Naimon at some point. Naimon doesn't really look. Well, it's one chance. Naimon's not that bad. You might see a Naimon. Yeah, that is what we're gonna see. And you can maybe fight back with a the Tanya. It's a bit awkward that you already dropped the 8 so. Well, you can still hold that 3-mon for now. Now 7 so Suji, so you feel okay discarding that as Max.
Oh, more pairs.
Ishan 10. And I gotta cut away from the 4 so, which is safe. Back into Ishan 10.
And notably, all the winning tiles for Beechin have been drawn now.
Max still with this loose 3-mon. Oh, this good dealing.
Yeah.
Did not want to see the 7-pin if you were Max there.
No Uda is pretty important here. It leaves the gap still somewhat manageable.
Yeah, this is very close here. Beechan and Max trading places back and forth. Beechan now back into the lead. And Zhu is also not far out of things either in this scrum.
And we've got a couple hands that are very close to being Tenpai. Of course, Shu across the way. Already Ishanten with 3-4-5 Sanchoku chance.
Each.
And Max
Wow.
Tenpai for Chitoy.
Chitoy, here we go again.
Oh, 3-pin. No
3-pin
wonder.
Chitoy.
Max loves the 3-pins, so it's not surprising to
Good
see him
tile.
take this as
This
the
is
weight.
this is definitely like, you know what, this game's not going well. The 3-pin good tile. It's a sign. Like this is just like incorrect that he knows it, but it's like but it's a good tile.
Yeah, I heard that in Max's voice.
3-pin good tile.
Exactly. We'll see if it's rewarded. I mean, look, all 3 in the wall.
Let's see if it works here. Ricci Sumo Chitoy would be
Maybe enough.
I think it would still be, would it be third? It'd be 64 plus 8,000 is like 72, 82.
Yeah, it'd be
It would
enough for
actually be second.
Not over 30k, but I mean, even a negative second with this game's how close it's been, that'd be perfectly reasonable. One of the 3 pins has been drawn, but still 2 left in the wall. Ishanten here doesn't have a pair, so it could go 7-so Genbutsu first. Shu justifies pushing the 3-so. Makes the 6 so Nakasuji. It's actually Tempai, but doesn't take it.
But does have Tanya Kutsuki. Or no, sorry, not quite. It's headless.
That's a pair candidate for Bichen. Now, very wide Ishanten, who can try to fight for not only second place, but to get over 30,000. Yeah, tough choice here. Overlaps. You don't want to drop Pinzu. You could try Suji 3mon and then 4mon. Goes instead of the 1 so.
Sumo.
There it
Oh,
is!
and there it is! Sumo on the good tile for Max does not disappoint. Huge
Una!
Sumo. And Retu, good measure.
I said it wasn't going to get over 30k, but I was not counting on the Una too, and there it is.
The good tile never disappoints.
Max Hanuman to come back into this game, and it's Oliver plus 25.9 in first place. Max dodging another fourth place with a gorgeous cheat toy. The cheat toy failed him before, but he found it
Yeah.
in the end. It took waiting on a
Max
three
made a
pin.
great point, which I didn't consider. All the ones so were held, so therefore
Yeah.
that was the correct recheat.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't want
I
to
didn't
roll
consider
that. You have to consider, what's in the wall. It's definitely the 3 pin and not the
Yeah.
1 so. Shu takes the -10 third place and Beachhead -44.8 fourth, and that will end their series.
Well, definitely, I think Max still has a hole to climb out of, but at least that final hand there is maybe can ease a little bit of the salt out of the wounds.
Yeah, definitely build on that for the future games. We'll look at the final standings for this series. Shu all the way up into third place in the division with plus 43.6. As noted in the chat, did finally deal into a hand. So loses that perfect.
Still 1.9%. I think I'm probably pretty happy with that.
Retains the 0 fourths as well. So solid start to season for Shu. In fifth place, Oliver takes a positive 23.2 out of the series with 2 firsts and 2 thirds. It looks like who's the third player at the table? Bishen, positive 4,
Bishen.
one of each, but in the positives, along with you.
Yeah, right above me. Same sort of similar position. Similar looking stats as well. Kind of had, I guess, this similar starts to our seasons.
And Max, that very important Hanuman Sumo at the end, jumped 2 places and got a positive score out of that game.
And it's enough to overtake Dustin. So now just right in between Dustin and Steve for at the end and bottom of the league.
Yeah, of course, this is still very early days in A1. There are going to
Yeah.
be lots of more swings throughout the rest of the season. And as funny as these stats are, still a lot of time for those to normalize a little bit.
Yeah, you only get to look at these ridiculous stats for usually they normalize after like a couple sessions, so you gotta kind of enjoy them while they last. Very like 34% win rates and 1.9% deal-in rates.
Well, I'm seeing A2 game has already started. And let's see. They have maybe finished one game so far. I don't know if that game is still ongoing. But let me take a quick peek and find out. Oh, it should be ongoing because it didn't show up in the game results. So let's hop in and see where we stand.
So we're at the end of this game here, South 3. With let's see who's Tempai here. We had Irichi on 360 looked like.
Just now making it into all last. We have Stephen, Alfred, Clinton, and Jonathan. Oh, everything's super laggy.
Yeah, we're trying to
It
get
does not
caught
like
back
me
up here.
switching the names.
Feel like I'm probably gonna try to go for Tanya. Well, now drew the East pair. Could just call the East and just go East Yakuhai, but it's gonna let it pass. Um, maybe rather than winning multiple small hands, gonna just try to do it with one big Ricci to try to get back into this game.
Yeah, of course, we can't see any stats for these players. This is apparently their first game of the bunch. And that means whatever shows up at the end of this one will be quite interesting. Alfred, this season coming from A1, Clinton, and let's see, I think Clinton promoted from B1. I believe Steven is returning from hiatus, and Jonathan was an A2 player last season. So everyone joining at this table from a different position the previous season. Currently, Jonathan in control here.
Trying to make some sort of comeback happen on this dealership, but might just get shut down here. So we do already have a call in the Senpai from Jonathan.
Yeah, the hand's looking way too fast. 6-bit has come out a couple times, so a little bit trickier to win, but you do anticipate seeing a 9-pin.
All right, well, East Onko can maybe give this dealer hand a chance here. Is Ishan 10?
Maybe Steven's sensing danger on the 9-pin somehow? Oh, but Alfred cannot afford to hold that, so it will come out and deal into Hatsudora 1.
I think perhaps the 9-pin keep was a play for Chitoy, or maybe it was just a defensive discard. It's kind of hard to fold to like one Hatsu call, but maybe. I wonder what the thought process was. Because this also was like 4 pairs to a Chitoy.
Yeah, just looking at the Tadashi, 2-pin, 4 so 6-2, Haku 8 so 7. Like these are all relatively useful tiles, followed by a Dora Tsumogiri.
That is true.
So maybe was just able to read the Tempai, and the 4 so was notably Genbutsu to Jonathan.
That's true.
So I'm gonna put my money on it was a Tempai read and a very good one.
Yeah, nice. Although it's hard to say how bad dealing in actually would be from that points. You could even feed all the way up to a Mongun and still be third place.
That's a good point.
And I think you expect the average value to be a fair bit less than a Mongun.
Perhaps if Alfred takes a dealer Ricci, you might Sashikomi 9-pin into that hand, because it was Suji to the dealer. But in the end, it will be Jonathan picking up 31.7. Clinton takes the second place, positive 9.6. Stephen the third and Alfred the fourth in the first game. And I'm seeing a pop-up. I'm seeing a game number 2. Yeah, going live in a minute.
All right, can join this one from the start.
Maybe we'll refresh that. The overall standings for A2 are looking good for Vincent for sure. Vincent and Will both starting off very well in the season. Of course, Vincent, that's in 2 games plus 87.0. Had just a monstrous performance, and I believe the first game of the season, and followed it up with a very strong second. We'll see who at this table can chase the leaders down.
We also have Will Red Zone up there in second spot, who's part of my my online club. So I like to see the strong performance there.
Absolutely, rooting for Will to carry on the strong gameplay into the upcoming IORMC tournament.
Yeah, for anyone who didn't see that game, that was the most ridiculous game of Mahjong I think I've ever seen. I can't remember what the final was. It was like 120,000 or something with 25,000 start.
Yeah, it was pretty absurd. Will, in a desperation in the final qualifier, needed a miracle, and he found it in the very last game of the session, and has carried that on nicely into this series. Two firsts, a second, and a third. Second place overall in the division. But here we are in game number 2 of this A2 series. Jonathan opens up as the dealer with reasonable high pie for potential Pifu. To the right, there's a couple of Yaku high pairs, as well as another honor pair in the norths. A hand that you look at and think, maybe this is Onitsu.
Yeah, we'll see how much time it gets. We do have a Chitoi Ishanten already on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Could also consider calling. It's like the pairs are really
Boom.
good for Toy Toy. Okay, we actually are going to see a Toy Toy play. Like you do really like, you have like Haku, Pei, Tone, 9-pin, 8-mon. Like those are all so great Toy Toy pairs. So actually does go back.
Boom.
You lose Shanten of Palm, but yeah, now back into Ishanten. I think I actually like the Toy Toy calls here.
Yeah, quite strong. Toy Toy with 2 Yakuhai is going to be a Mungon even without the Dora. Especially if we get the Haku, and Jonathan hasn't dropped that just yet.
Boom.
Here's the call into Tenpai.
This might be rough for Alfred, who is now saddled with this lone north wind.
Yeah, and the hand's actually not that bad either. If the hand was worse, maybe it could just fold. See if it can dodge this north deal-in. If the hand progresses. You do have a couple other tiles you can cut first, like we saw the 4-mon. You can also cut the 7-pin.
What an insane read it would be for Alfred to draw into Tempai and wait on the pay.
That would be very quite the read here. This gotta just beat Sumogiri. You can't waste time thinking about a pin. You might I don't know, maybe you might think about Dora draw regardless, but I feel like thinking about Dora when you're waiting on 9-pin is a bit of a tell.
Yeah, it's possible.
Like you might just be Tonki wait or something and think about shifting to Dora.
Gosh. See, this is why you think about Dora. You should have broken Tempai and then
Yes,
redrawn the
clearly.
Dora. And there's actually, those are the only 2 Dora visible. So there's 2 more in the wall. Are we going to see the tragic third 8-pin draw?
That would be pretty funny.
I don't want to curse it into existence, but the odds are not that unlikely. Alfred is dodging this with everything he's got.
Yeah, it's done a nice job. Jonathan also in a bit of trouble here.
Sumo.
Yep, there we go, just Sumo. And it was the 9-pin, so
Not feeling punished at all.
no.
Not until we look at the wall later and see the next row is the 8-pin. For now, Clinton, nice hand. Mongon to start things off, jumps right into his dealership and opens up with the double tone pair.
Yeah, the rest of the hand's not too fantastic, but double East goes a long way.
Door acceptance in the form of a floating 3-mon. Steven, that hand looks pretty messy on the right. It'll be difficult to make something worth anything in that, but the 2-mon draw gives you door acceptance and 1-2-3 Sancho chance. Across the way, those are shapes. There's a Dora, so that means the hand is viable. Maybe Itsu as an option for some serious value.
It does have a faraway sort of Itsu and Manzu here.
Kind of traditional hand for Jonathan on the left. Step closer, Ishanten now, but Kanchan in the Sozu to fill. Considering whether to drop the 7 or the 4, holds the 7, so do you have a preference in this situation?
Yeah, I like to cut the 7-so because the at least just
Boom.
from efficiency, it's better to keep the 4-pin that's sort of connected to the 6, 7, 8-pin shape.
Because you can think of that as 2 shapes.
There's like a faraway Sanchoku though, so maybe I would keep the 7-so. I think there's probably a route. Like yeah, you draw If you draw around 7, so you can cut the 2-4 so.
I suspect
And I
that's
think
what
have a
Jonathan
Sanchoku chance.
is thinking here. Is
So because of the Sanchoku, I think I like the 4-pin discard.
we did see the double tone call. A couple of floaters for Clinton. Ooh, switch to Tanyo. Yes, we'll make the
Yeah.
9-mon cut. And there's the door draw for Clinton. This is exactly what he was looking for. This hand starting to become valuable. Unfortunately, right now, really relying on the 8-pin that is just being held. Con for
Con?
value?
No con, Sumogiri. Con seems pretty good, but I guess it doesn't have confidence in this Kanchan.
Well, if he doesn't believe in it, he's correct.
Well, it's not going to swap off this Kanchan. The Shampon's not a lot better. The 1-pin's dead.
Jonathan did eventually draw the 8-so, but could not take the Sanchoku shift after dropping the 9-mons. Kind of saddled with this 2-mon door. Doesn't want to drop it into Clinton's hand.
Yeah, I haven't seen a single Monzu discard. Does make it look pretty bad.
Well,
Each.
gonna have to take it for this
But
Ricci.
Tempai will make you drop it.
Tempai for Clinton as well. South should be relatively safe here. Currently can only
So
win on
is Nakasuji.
Yeah, 5-so
There's
actually.
only one left, though.
And there it is!
Oh, and all you need is one, apparently. Suji trapped the wall.
Just like that. Clinton now. A second large win. And remember, Jonathan ate the Oyakaburi on the Tsumo in the previous hand, so he is struggling right now for points. Hasn't done anything wrong, really, in this game. We'll see if on Jonathan's second dealership we see a comeback like we did in the A1 games. Clinton going to attempt to run up the score as much as he can, though. Ipeko chance in the lower Monzu and several Kanchan shapes to fill.
Find another pair in the 6-mon. Kind of a tricky choice of what to discard. It's gonna go for the 7-so. I wonder about 1-mon for Tanyo. You lose Ipeko. But I might be tempted to go that direction.
Yeah,
You do also lose 4 pairs for Chitoe. It's a hard hand to play, I think.
I think Clinton, just playstyle-wise, tends to default to staying closed.
Yeah, if you don't want to open for Tanyo, then I think the 7-so makes the most sense. Five so is a nice draw. Now has that Nakabakude shape in Sozu. Although the Pinzu shape's kind of awkward for Steven.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about opening for Chinitsu, it's a little unfortunate that a very important 3-pin has already passed.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little too slow to go all the way to Chinitsu when they have such a strong Sozu shape.
Ooh, pairs and Ipeko.
Chitoe Shanten. That could do something here. Although it seems like definitely at least favoring keeping a just a standard hand open, not keeping these like 1-mon, which might have been a nice Chitoe tile. Instead favoring the 4-pin and the 8-pin, which give more routes to just like a normal Ricci with Ipeko chance.
Yeah, can certainly shift into ton. Ooh, Clinton pulled one of the last 3-mon for that Ipeko. So perfect Ishanten now. This could
Or
be
just take Tempai Chitoe. I mean, you have you don't have to Ricci, but is at least Tempai on the 4-pin.
You're right. Steven does match. The speed actually takes a step ahead. This 5-mon unfortunately doesn't help as much because we've already got the 4.
Steven just gonna stay dumb on the 4-pin here. Now here's
1
Senpai for dealer.
Ricci,
3-6,
Pinfu,
so
Ipeco. These tiles are very well locked away. Only one 3-so left in the wall. Of course, the last time we said that, we found it. So far, Steve has been able to maintain this tempi. 9 also safe.
Alfred does have a very wide Kutsuki Ishanten here. If cheat is for tempo, I would have to discard 5-so and doesn't want to do that. Well, now you drew 4-pin for possible Ricci. Now it's going to be willing to discard the 5-so. Let's see.
Ricci, Pinfu only.
It's not going to. It's going to go for 8-mon, 8-mon Washi. Could still maybe make it to tempai with one more draw here.
Yeah, still very wide. Misses.
That draw is not going to do it.
Instead, it will be Ryukyoku does the 8-mon pass. There are 3 7s. It's kind of Sotogawa to the early 7s, so you could try it.
Yeah.
Steven does.
I think you got to do that for the tempai points there. There's like one chance Sotogawa, I believe. Alright, dealer opens up a hand. Does have the door Ryamen here. I'll have 2 other Ryamen. Could maybe become a Tanyo as well. You shift away from the 1-1-2 pin. Do you see a call of the Chun already for Steven?
Chi.
Who's going for a pretty quick open hand here. Still missing a pair.
Pong.
Let's call around across the table. Now that hand is Kutsuki Ishanten. And has can call a lot of so tiles here to get into tempai. Or draw the 7-so. That should be tempai here, right? No, not quite. Sorry.
I mean, at this point,
But an even better Ishanten.
consider
Now it's
this.
tempai.
Yeah.
And this 9-so is looking pretty loose
Oh,
here. Well,
well.
or you can draw another one.
Goes with the 1 pin
Gee.
instead. That helps Steven,
Wow.
but dodges
Somehow
the dealing.
dodges that deal in. That 9-so was so close to coming out.
1
I do wonder about the 5
Dong.
pin instead, and that will deal into the Kanchan. I do wonder about the 5 pin from Clinton, trading a door for Ipeco. Same value, but you can pair up the door later and get Ipeco and or 2.
Yeah, good point.
But in the end, it did not make a difference. Zero should pass without any pain, so Steven will take the helm in East 3.
Slow dealer hand. No real way to open either.
Pong.
Maybe very distant 5-6-7 Sanshoku. Do you see a call of the East Yakuhai?
Alfred happy to open
pretty
the...
strong door 2 hand.
These draws for Steven have been pretty decent. I find a Dora reasonable value as well. 5-6-7 Sanchoku technically live. It's going to be difficult to outspeed Alfred, though. I mean, this is already Ishanten.
Perfect Ishanten even. 2-pin draw doesn't really change much. I think I usually just cut the 3-pin here because 2-pin's like a little bit easier to pawn.
Mhm. It's always funny when you have a pawn and then multiple like 5 pairs. Steven's hand improving bit by bit. Ishanten now.
Yeah, these draws have been really good.
Kind of slow for the rest of the table. Although Clinton is also approaching Tempai. Ishanten there. Just Ricci Pinfu.
Each.
We'll slam the Ricci though. 2-5. Oh, Steven just got rid of it. And saved the 9-so, which does pass, but he'll have to try out the 7-pin upon reaching Tempai. As
I think
dealer,
Steven actually maybe had a chance to keep Tumon the turn before if I wanted to keep Sanchoku as a possibility.
You're right. Draw the 6 Mon and cut the 8 instead. Second door for Jonathan. Almost not what he wants to see. Ooh. Steven's gonna find another way to play this, and this is the one way that Dodge is dealing in. At least for the time being.
I guess 6-0 is also Gambutsu from the right. So yeah,
Right.
it just safely cuts 5-6-0.
Tempai for Alfred, though, takes the 1-4 pin, even though the 1 pin is thrice out. Hesitates and says, you know what, that's still fine. Oh, but draws the 2.
But the
That's
Tumon
final
immediately comes
2.
out.
Ooh!
2. Ouch.
Clinton. This is kind of how Clinton made it into A2 last season. He was kind of hanging around plus minus 0. And the final few sessions just won on an absolute tear, winning game after game, Mongon after Mongon, and maybe starting out the season in the same fashion.
Having quite an explosive game here so far. Still in East 4.
This one a little bit slower, but Clinton's been the beneficiary of most of the hands here.
Door draw here fits in quite nicely. Does mean that this hand's not going to be Chanta, but that's okay. I don't think we'll miss Chanta too much.
No, not as dealer.
Now you probably want to break one of your Kanchans, and looks like it's going to be the Manzu.
Quick scan shows 2 8-mon in the wall and 3 2-pin in the wall, so statistically the right choice.
We do already have Tanyo Ishan 10 for Clinton. Let's see how that hand goes. Here's a chance to call Haku.
Snatched up immediately. That's
Now
slightly
Clinton
better
improves to
shape.
Pinfu. Is actually considering not keeping this for Sanshoku, but yeah, ultimately does decide to.
Yeah,
I
dropping
suppose like if you cut with from maybe just debating between 4 and 6 pin first. Well, now this gives a nice 6-pin draw, filling that Kanchan. Gives Ricci Tanya door 2. Very scary Ricci here for Steven.
There's only 2 tiles left in the wall. That means there's 2 whole tiles in the wall.
Yeah, we've just been phrasing it the wrong way.
Oh, Tempai for Alfred will drop the Genbutsu Formon that just passed.
Waiting in 2-5 so.
It's 4 tiles, so 2 versus 4. Clinton also Tempai now, not taking the Ricci.
Long.
And saves the stick for the Dama. 2900 going Alfred's way, climbing closer to that second place mark. And repeating as dealer.
Yeah, nice job to shut down that Mongon Ricci.
This Haipai
Yeah.
looks like it wants to be Tanyao.
Yeah, it definitely does. No door at the moment or anything like that.
That's because
We'll
Toyman has
see.
them all.
Ah, that's a good point. Toyman for a really nice hand here. Already Ishan 10.
Just gorgeous shapes too.
G.
Could even pon the last door if it leaves his Steven's hand, and it's not unlikely that that happens. But instead, the 8 mon comes out first. Steven Chitoi Ishanten, but has to contend with a 2-5 Tempai for Tanya Dora 3. 3 tiles left in the wall for this weight. And currently, the ones that are being held are pretty secure. Interesting choice here from Steven. Chooses to hold max acceptance for Chitoi.
You're
Lock
just
in
fully
usage
committing
of
to
the
that.
Dora, right?
Uh-oh. 3 on discard. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
saved.
saved there.
Yeah, still eats the Oyakabiti, but you know what? 4,000 is a lot better than 8,000. And Clinton.
Yeah. That 3 on discard was trouble.
Hey, there's a reason we go outside in. Sometimes,
Yep.
sometimes that saves that one turn. It's enough. Well, 61,000
Wow.
points for Clinton,
Okay,
and
Clinton running away with this one so far.
still, Steven has a chance to make it over 30k. A good hand for Jonathan with a Dora East. It will be kind of tricky to make use of that without just instantly pairing up, because the hand has great shapes for more of a Tanyao or some type of 5-6-7 4-5-6 Sanchoku. Clinton on the right. Finally, a hand that looks kind of normal, but it's not bad. You just have a couple terminal tiles that you can improve upon. And Clinton has shown he's got no problem drawing tile improvements in this game. Across the way, probably a Pifu type hand, and on the left, non-Anko opened up with that as well. Multiple
It
pairs.
actually cut the Penchon very early, or the Conchon very early, and immediately did get the backfire 2 mon. Deciding to cut the 1 mon before the north.
Looking at Steven's hand, yeah.
Each.
Jonathan does find Tempai, drops the east, which is immediately paired up by Clinton. We've seen.
Just gonna use those as 2 safe tiles.
Right. Do you really want to push against dealer when you've got this monster lead?
Yeah, not with that hand.
Boom.
Even with door 2, just too slow.
Dong.
Alfred tries, but does deal in on the expensive side. Richie Tanyao for 3,900. Dodges Uda. That would have been a tragedy otherwise. In this instance, though, it's still very important, as Jonathan will take third place over.
Yeah, and gets another dealer hand here. This one also looks pretty quick. It does have a couple bad shapes in the Penchon and the Conchon. No real door or anything, but I think we'll be pretty happy with this Haipai.
Clinton's probably pretty happy with his Haipai, too.
Yeah, you're almost 22, but you probably can't get there just because your Monzu and Sozu Ryamen are so strong. Could even be a Pinfu at this point, just cut Chun Chun. Have to see what the draws are. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna go for the East instead. Which maybe does open up the chance to call Chun later, like if you draw into a pair of like 7-8 pin or 4-5 mon, then you have like perfect Ishan 10 you can call for. But does mean you don't get a Pinfu.
Yeah, and in this instance, Clinton's probably fine sacrificing the Yaku Pinfu. Doesn't really need
But you do
any
get a
more
little bit of
points.
calling speed.
Right. Probably values shutting down the dealership more than potential getting Pinfu after staying closed.
And there we go. So now with the pair of the 5 mon, assuming we drop a 7 so here. Oh, we don't drop a 7 so.
So this is really going all out for the Chun. Does seem a little
Yeah,
inefficient, but
I mean,
maybe if Clinton's not
yeah,
willing to take
well,
Ricci Nomi, then
I guess so.
oh well.
It does
Hold
mean
on a
you
sec.
also don't have like
Home.
access to 2-3-4 Sanchoku though. Either way, the Chun comes out.
Yeah, 6-9 pin is the weight. Toyman Ishanten for Suanko, by the way.
Yeah, that's worth mentioning.
6-mon, 2-pin Forso. Forso's not live, but 2-pin certainly is. Oh, never mind.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's dealing in.
Dong.
And so the Chun does work out. Clinton got the hand that looked like he wanted. Just the Chun know me to advance the dealership.
And goodness, this
Wow.
high pie.
Yeah,
The good
this
hands
is
don't stop coming.
definitely a hand you have to try to win, I think. It's like, you know, maybe if a worse hand, you could just be okay passing your dealership, but this hand, you gotta just go for a Ricci.
Decent hands around the board as well. On the right, there's that Chun pair again. Actually,
Each.
Tenpai.
Oh, well, there we go. Just fill in the Kanchan. Perfect draw here. And an early Champon Ricci, which is Suji trapped and then Honor. Quite strong.
Clinton might be in danger of discarding the 7-mon.
Yeah, doesn't really. If you like full fold, it'd be like 7-pin. But if it wants to try to like Mawashi a 7-mon, it looks like a very reasonable choice to me. Considering that the hand is pretty quick. So it's pretty tempting to go for a Mawashi.
Could call that for Ishanten, but let's pass.
Here we go. It's going to be...
8-pin
8-pin.
first.
Wow. Somehow reads that the 7-mon is safer than the 8-pin. It is correct.
Chi.
Has no fear with the 7-pin Richito. Just goes for it.
But an aggressive Chi for non-Nomi. Oh no, the Chun draw.
Dong.
That is going to deal in.
Just 2,600, and so if Clinton dealt in as well, it would have been Ricci Nomi. But I mean,
Yeah.
that is, a very important aspect of, playing the game is being able to dodge even the cheap ones. Clinton has shown a couple times now, about to discard the tile, but holds off, until the very last moment, and someone sumos, someone else deals in, saves himself a couple thousand points every time, and manages to accumulate a large lead by just winning his hands and dodging all of those. Nice little Horitsu
Here
they're
we have a
building.
quite a strong hand here for Steven.
Right now, Haku Honitsu, maybe Ipeko, but we can dream of more.
Yeah, if you can get a closed hand here, that would be pretty cool. Although, I think you do probably have to just call into Tenpai if you get the chance.
Yeah, these shapes, not the strongest, and one of the 5 months has come out already.
You could consider passing West Palm if you want to try for a closed hand, since it doesn't actually change the Shanten.
Of course, West Point would give you a little more flexibility with your final shapes.
Yeah, it would improve the Shanten. One doesn't actually really do much here. Yeah, just passes it.
Afraid not so cut. Plans maybe to shift to a Tanyao.
It definitely looks like it.
A lot of pairs. Notably, though, has already dropped an 8-mon. That shape
That is true.
a little precarious in hand. Oh, there's a 6-0 draw. That's huge.
It doesn't keep Tumon. That seems like a mistake.
Because
I
we've
guess
got...
it's... No, there's still 3 Mon left.
Yeah, it's a 2-4-6 Diancon if we keep that. Oh, Tempai.
Alright, well, just knew you were trying the 7 Mon somehow. So this is Dama Menhon Ipeko Haku for 5 Han or Hanuman Sumo.
Oh no!
Uh-oh, and there's the 5 Mon! Oh, wow.
Surprise, I was Tempai.
Dude said the 2 Mon, I don't need that tile. I'm going Ipeko all the way.
Pulled it in. How about repeat? You know, just the same
What the
hand.
heck is this? This is the same hand. It doesn't
Now,
have the Haku this time.
It's got 2 1s and 3 9s, so you know what that means.
Oh, you're right.
100%
We're 4
cheating.
Shunten. Or 5 Shunten.
5 Shantan. Easy. Pass.
It is a very, it's a very easy to count.
No!
No!
Steven, dream big. Oh, I would have drawn the 5! Would have been 4 Shantan.
Wow, well, it's getting nice Mon draws here.
Maybe the opponent was just drawing on the proper, calling into the proper drawing line. I'm just watching Toyman's tiles from here on out. You're gonna have to do the commentary.
Con?
Might as well.
You gotta save it
Holds
for later, maybe. I think you could probably con. Your hand's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind the draw.
Could have cheat 3 Mon, but it's not like super impactful.
Yeah, it just leaves you with a Diancon. Outside of that,
I do want to con this, but like yeah, I don't know. It's fine. All right, now we con. Con. There we go. Okay. Forfeit new Dora. Does give 2 Dora to Kamicha, whose hand is worth a lot more now.
Template.
Oh my god, what?
It's
Here
a
we go
3,
again.
but this could be called down for Toy. I mean, if you get
Yeah.
the 5, oh,
Boom.
even this, yeah, we'll take it.
There we
Waiting on the
go.
1.
1-1-5-1 for
Honitsu
Honitsu
Toy.
It's no longer Nomi.
Oh, the 5, that doesn't
Oh
fit.
no, the 5-1.
Does Clinton dodge
but...
though? Clinton
Clinton
knows.
does dodge. We'll see. Like, you can at least cut the pen chunk, it's kind of weak. But the hand is like Door 2. We'll see how much. Oh, 7 Fin's another useful draw. Stick with Toy?
It's
Yeah,
2d10, so yeah. And
Oh,
it's
true.
Suji Trap, you know. It's not really... At this point, you've cleared so many tiles, maybe they don't believe it's Honitsu anymore.
See what happens if Clinton gets Tempai.
Because you also haven't shown much in terms of Sozu. It could be just any type of toy. It doesn't have to be Honitsu toy.
Yeah.
Well, that's a draw. And that's a 6
Oh,
mon.
6 Mon draw!
Saved?
That...
Chun.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm gonna go for 6
6
pin,
8,
8
okay.
pin.
Clinton was rewarded for waiting for the Chun in a previous hand, so maybe believes. The Chun has been a very relevant tile in today. No Hellweight Hakudora Sanki here. Oh. If you're going for Chitoy, that pair up would have been useful, but as is Yubi Furiten. Oh, there's the Chun. And it comes out.
It does come out.
4-7.
He's gonna get called.
All the 1 mon buried in the wall.
Boom.
Alfred takes the Tempai, waits on the south, though was not willing to risk that. Makes a lot of sense. Khan into Tempai? Test Tempai.
Yeah,
using the
Tempai.
weight.
Ricci.
Shabo on the new Dora. Yeah, takes it.
Yep.
Sumo.
Oh, there's the 2.
2 monstrous hands, and Clinton gets
That gave another door
free.
too.
Yeah.
Both the cons helped.
Wow. And again, Clinton dodging a deal end on a tile that really didn't fit his hand. He was Ishant then.
Yeah.
And
then just drew the perfect tile to connect up to it.
as a reward, wins a Mungon instead. It's just great recognition by Clinton, and it's good to see strong play getting rewarded.
Well, we had a bunch of very strong like Honitsu high pies, and now we have the opposite, which is just a hand so bad that maybe I go Honitsu just because everything else sucks.
봄.
Yeah, lets the Sha go and immediately gets called, so wasn't going to be used for Honitsu most likely. Now we'll just try to make maybe Itsu out of this. It doesn't have to be Honitsu, it can just be a normal hand, Itsu Dora. Oh, there's a 3-pin. Okay, making improvements.
I'm heading towards the E2.
Jonathan looking at Tanya, perhaps. Clinton just a call and go. And, I mean, this is not typical of what we've seen from Clinton so far in this game, but these shapes are pretty strong for a fast hand, so not terribly surprising to see him move towards an open hand. There's a 4-pin. We're getting close.
Oh yeah, these draws have been pretty good. It's gonna just go for efficiency here.
And
Screen
maybe
one's Kahatsu, I think is pretty reasonable.
we pair up a 1 honor even. Might decide to cut the Montile
Boom.
instead.
Spawn pawn into Ishanten.
Scene 3-2, so not exactly what you're looking for if you're Clinton, but
This is now Ishanten for Steven.
it doesn't really help with that, so out comes. Jonathan Dianchanten here. Alfred still looking for a pair and a 7-pin. It's a waiting game.
Well, there's your pair, I guess. It's not really the one you wanted.
No. Honestly, I might just...
It's Dora, actually. I did forget it was Dora. That's actually not bad.
How about
You don't get Itsu, but it is a good pair.
You're right. How about a third 9-pin? Then we can get Itsu and use it as a pair.
That'd be ideal.
Pawn would be very funny here.
It'd be like a pawn for Chinitsu to Shanten. Doesn't want to go for it. It is Paimon if it works.
That was the last Dora, so this 9-pin relegated to be a pair of the hand. Jonathan will give up on the 369 mod weight in the hopes of finding a Sanchoku. Doesn't get the Sanchoku, but does get Tempai. 5-8 so versus the 2-5 so Clinton.
지.
Just gonna stay Dama, possibly looking for the Sanchoku upgrade.
지.
Or possibly just doesn't want to commit to
Oh,
Ricci.
no.
It seems like a pretty good Ricci,
5 so would be
especially
double
from
roll.
last place.
8 so
Skipped Roan.
pass?
I guess really hoping for that Sanchoku. This is a bit forced.
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's... Yeah, Jonathan, in desperation. Oh.
Yeah, this is why I just wish we Ricci'd. Now what are you
Sumo.
gonna do? Sumo? Okay. Yeah, this is why it's usually not worth like not reaching for one tile of upgrade, because you're just more likely to sumo than you are to draw that singular 7-pin.
Yeah, and Olas
And
was
that could have been
hoping
like
for...
Menton Peen. If Eitso comes out, it's like at least Menton Peen.
See, the
Oh,
gap
that was all
was
last, but yeah.
10,100, so Mongon Sumo is a 12,000 point swing. So Ricci, Sumo, Tanya, Pinfu, Uda would be enough.
Yeah, I did forget it was all last, so it is at least more fair.
Yeah, it does make
Is there
sense to try
any-
to aim for a large hand.
Yeah.
In the end,
Either way.
we'll save some points and make sure that Alfred stays below 30,000, so it doesn't lose any more than 42. Alfred takes the minus 24 third. Steven did finish in the positives, which is a very difficult task considering Clinton was winning the majority of the hands in this game. Plus 56.5 for Clinton. Great showing there. Standings updating now as the second game. It's put into the books. Clinton in the 5th slot overall in the division. And it looks like they may only be playing 2 games today. So that gives us an opportunity to take a final look at the overall standings. In A2, Vincent, Will, DeLong, Kevin, Clinton in the top 5. And let me check, see how many are promoting. Should be 5, right? Out of A2? Oh, 6, because we have 24. No, it is 5. Because we have 20 in A1.
5 is what it shows on the standings page.
So currently Clinton in the one of those promotion slots. Of course, much more of the season yet to come. But looking forward to seeing more positive results from everyone in the standings. Steven currently 2nd place for the Saki Award, plus 0.5 after 2 games. Very funny.
Very neutral start.
Of course, we know Harrison's going to be aiming for that given the way the last season finished. He ended up very close to achieving the mark, but Will barely surpassed him. Or undercut him, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, A2 games complete for the day. And there will be a couple more games later this evening. We won't unfortunately be able to cover those, but the final A1 series that has yet to start their games will be playing 2 tonight, and then all of the A1 games will be finishing up tomorrow in the morning, I believe, or afternoon. And
A1 always putting off all the games until right at the end of the session, as always.
Yeah, of course. There was a large tournament in California
Yes,
that a lot of
that
the
is
A1
very
players
true.
were attending, so definitely pushed the scheduling
I
back
think
a
it was
little
just
bit.
kind of funny when it was like for a long time. It was like A1 had played like 4 games. Like there were a bunch of other group divisions which had already played a bunch.
Yeah, well, it was definitely fun watching the couple of games with A1 earlier today. There's some very exciting moments, and um, dealership was just dominant in that series. The highlight for me has to have been the Chun.
Oh yes, the Chun Chi Toy War, and then of course it was Ura too, just for good
Yeah,
measure.
the
We had
Chun became the Ura. So I wonder.
the double roll. That would have just been like that would have been like the highlight of the season already.
It
I
would have
would have been
been
hard to top.
Richie Chitoy Uda 2 for dealer for 12,000 points. And then for max it would have been Richie Chitoy Dora 2 Uda 2 for Hanuman, another 12,000 points.
Yeah.
Just like deal relatively safe honor tile, lose Baimon value.
Fun.
Dealer Baimon value. But in the end, Shu ended up with a big sumo there. And we had another Chitoy to finish the game. It was a lot of fun. It's great to see Clinton uh, showing very strong defense and offense in that A2 game. And looking forward to seeing more in our next broadcast, which is currently, I guess it's our Wednesday. Our regular Wednesday session is likely to be the next cast. There's a small chance we may get a Monday broadcast, and we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, if you are looking to be sure to know when we go live, you can follow us on Twitch. You can also check out our Twitter or X page to see whatever we post there. I think we might have a couple of Yakuman tweets to show up. We've got a recent Sho Sanget, I believe, and a Dai Sanget as well. Of course, if you're interested in being a part of the season in the fall, in the winter, the registration deadline is December 4th. Got sometime before that comes to pass. But make sure you sign up before the start of December to claim your spot in the winter season. And finally, you'll be able to watch this broadcast as well as all of our previous casts on our YouTube channel. You can follow the link on the screen, tinyurl.com/ARMLYT, or just go to our YouTube channel youtube.com/@AmericanRichi. That will get you there too. And there's a lot of exciting action from the almost 2 years of Armel action. So
That's
definitely
crazy.
check that out. Yeah, it's amazing that to think how much time has passed. Thank you, Lucas, for joining me in the broadcast today. Wouldn't be possible without you co-commentating.
Yeah, thanks. I think you like just got back, you were
Yeah,
saying, like from the airport and then straight into broadcasting.
it was definitely a tight squeeze, but managed to catch three very interesting games. So glad you could be a part of it. And
Yeah,
thanks
it was
everybody for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you in the next broadcast.